See what bleeding down the price looks like when a property gets sold power of sale? Here's what that is. Look at that. Every week the price is going down. This property in the Kawartha Lakes just lost $860,000 in 3 years and was sold power of sale.
Real estate investors in Canada are getting absolutely crushed as home sales drop dramatically, and also people are starting to take 30% haircuts on the price they paid just a few years ago on their houses in places like Kawartha Lakes and also Toronto. We're going to discuss it in today's video. This is pretty crazy. Obviously, this is very bad if you're someone who's investing in the real estate industry, but also just in general for Canada, because Canada is so dependent on real estate prices continually going up. But that may not be the case anymore. Let's discuss it in today's video. My God, if you're looking to enter the housing market, it might actually be a good time soon, actually. But if you just don't believe in the real estate market in Canada and you think that it's headed to an ultimate collapse, that's also a fair opinion, because we've talked a lot about that on the channel. I do think that the real estate market has been a massive bubble in Canada, especially since 2008. It's kind of been papered over, but it's gotten a lot worse since 2015. So check this out. Vaughan, Ontario. There are tons of people losing in the housing market every day. $200,000 to $400,000 losses are so common now that I don't even bother to post them. But this one is huge. The person lost 30% of what they paid for it. So a $574,000 loss on this house. That's over $500,000 loss on this property. And this is the property right here, as you guys can see. It's a pretty nice house, but it's a, it's pretty generic, like big house in Vaughan. A lot of them look like this, so I mean, not the most attractive looking house, but if this is something you're into, I don't know, you're gonna take a massive haircut though, or maybe you got a deal if you're buying it right now, but I don't even know if it's a deal. I think these prices could be going down even further here in Vaughan, Ontario. Look at that, $574,000 loss, over $500,000 on that house. Can you imagine being in that position right now? And these are just regular homeowners. I don't think these were investors or anything like that. But yeah, crazy loss there. A 2022 homeowners unable to leave the country because houses won't sell. And this individual right here is saying, any realtor who can guarantee the sale of my house, please avoid making fun of this. We want to sell the house now because we want to move out of the country soon, and we know the market is not good. Looking for someone strong. Our house is listed for about 7 months now, and the age of the house is 3 years. Very odd sentence structure right there. They might be new to the country. Maybe they immigrated here and 3 years ago and they bought a brand new pre-constructed house, but it looks like it's not selling here. 7 months on the market. 7 months on the markets. You couldn't even imagine that. There was like bidding wars during the pandemic in places like Ontario, pretty much anywhere in Ontario, even cottage country. Houses were being, bid up like crazy. And now people are taking massive 30% losses on their houses, and it could go down even further. So leave your thoughts down below about the housing market in Ontario and Canada.
See what bleeding down the price looks like when a property gets sold power of sale? Here's what that is. Look at that. Every week the price is going down. This property in the Kawartha Lakes just lost $860,000 in 3 years and was sold power of sale. Here's the previous listing. Look at that. May of 2022 at the peak of the market for $1.9 million, and today barely getting $1 million for that same property. And having no choice, the bank had to eventually step in and sell it themselves power of sale. Over the last couple of years, recreational properties like this one have been getting hit hard. Prices continue to go down, and the amount of listings just continues to rise, and they just continue to sit on the market. And when the bank steps in to sell, they just got to sell. So they'll continue to bleed that price down until a buyer comes along, and that makes sense for them. What are your thoughts about this? $860,000 lost in just over 3 years. Let me know below.
And a lot of these houses, like in Kawartha Lakes, this is like cottage country, right? So a lot of people are buying these as either investments or something that they could potentially live in during the pandemic. You could work from home. There's tons of work from home jobs, and now a lot of these companies are forcing their employees to go back to the office full time, and that's obviously going to lead to some of these properties, like in the Kawartha Lakes or Muskoka, to go down in price. But to see that over $800,000 loss on the house, it looks like just a regular cottage home. It didn't look anything special, at least from the photos there, but again, this is probably a nice house right on the lake, which is very desirable. But is it really that desirable now? If you're still even spending over $1 million on it, I still think that's pretty high for Kawartha Lakes. that house still, maybe like in 2015, was probably worth a lot less than even that. So the houses in general, I think we're just in a bubble in Ontario, but now they're definitely starting to come down, and not even just in cottage country, places like Hamilton, London, Ontario, just anywhere just outside of the GTA and even the GTA, prices have been going down. And in Toronto specifically, houses haven't really been going down as dramatically as you're seeing, outside of the GTA, but you've seen these dramatic price decreases in condos in Toronto. They've been literally in free fall. So just absolutely crazy what's happening.
Anyone wondering if they're shutting Canada down, if houses aren't going to be going up anymore because no one's buying them, no one's selling? The 300 houses here, 6 line in Burnham Thorpe. Right, we go over here, right across the street. Fully digging right here. And here we are, guys, just about 2 years later. The subdivision that once was is now complete. And as we look over here, that they were supposed to start digging there 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And they just got excavators and that other thing there right now. So what exactly have they been doing here? They did build a big road there though. And that just happened, I think, a couple days ago. And these are the last houses here going up. And after that, no more basements are going to be dug. It was supposed to be a whole housing community, which they have just made into a park with grass going as far as the eye can see. So as we look over here, guys, in this beautiful community and the millionaires that are living there, we have to look at these gray, unforeseen, and quite frankly, cloudy skies, which are definitely indicative of the future to come. Stay safe and God bless.
So a lot of new constructions are just not going on right now. A lot of them are frozen because the developers can't raise enough money to actually start the project. So you're seeing a lot of these projects being delayed, sitting there. As you can see there, they had a massive portion of land with the excavators and no work being done. And this is the summer right now, right? So we have good weather to actually start with these housing constructions, but they're not actually happening because the money is just not there. The housing market is just nowhere near as hot as it was when they actually planned all of these houses. And a lot of the houses that are being built now, a lot of these communities are just either condos or they're basically made to rent. And there's not a lot of single family homes being built, which is the main thing a lot of people who actually want to enter the housing market to live in these houses want in Canada. Toronto's new home market experiences worst February on record with nearly 17,000 unsold homes. So it's not just the Kawartha Lakes or cottage country. We're seeing it in the most populated city in all of Canada. Toronto Culture, Toronto's new home market, saw its worst February on record with nearly 17,000 unsold homes as demand slumps. Sales of new single family homes dropped over 60% year over year, while condo sales fell nearly 50%. High interest rates, affordability concerns, and cautious buyers' sentiment continues. Developers are offering incentives, inventory levels remain at historic highs, raising concerns about potential price corrections. So you're having the inventory levels higher than they've ever been, and we also have a massive influx of new people coming to the country. It looks like it might be a perfect storm, but you'd think that the demand should be going up, surely, right? If you have more people who need to access housing, then why are these prices still going down, and why are they still not selling? Because it's out of reach for the majority of people when it comes to income. The income disparity between the actual housing and the medium incomes is unbelievable in Canada, and it might be the worst in the G7 nations and potentially even the Western world. I hope you guys learned something from today's video. Leave your thoughts down below about the housing market in Canada, which seems to be really, really horrible right now. Nowhere near as hot as it was during the pandemic. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.